Oh, yeah. All right, fellas, as promised, we are back. Let everybody just jump on here. I know we missed a week. I hope everybody enjoyed their Thanksgiving. Mr. Chuck Beam, he was sitting on go. He done made a comment before the show even started.
Good
I hear you,
deal.
Chuck. He was ready to go, son.
He
I,
just told me
I
turn
said,
it down.
I said 3 times. I said volume, and she
Oh
still
yeah.
she does
Hopefully
that
we
every week.
I'm
there's old
consistent.
Corey New. Old Corey's watching he's turning in old Corey Newby's turned in on YouTube, man. I cut my phone off, guys. John made a suggestion that maybe what was popping on my mic, so I cut it off. So it could have been since it was right here beside me.
I was listening to Meat Eater, the podcast, Meat Eater podcast, and the guy that's the sound guy for them, one of the guys was on his phone. He said, "You got to turn that off. It's making a buzzing sound with the mics."
That
And
makes sense. That
so,
makes sense because it does put out a signal. So
Speaking of meter, this is my new meter
uh,
hat.
well, it's bear grease.
Oh, but it's for meat eater
Yeah,
though.
same
uh,
broadcast.
And I got the new meat eater board game for my birthday for next
that's
month.
cool.
Yeah, if people don't know what we're talking about, Meat Eater's like a podcast, and they've got
Yeah, yeah, they got some
trivia
good
every week.
content. Yeah,
They came out with their own board game. It's like
really.
just outdoor questions,
Hunting,
fishing,
fishing, conservation,
cooking.
cooking is the fire.
Yeah, and one of
That's
the
cool. I didn't know that. I watch him all the time. What's his name? Steve Rotella, Steve something.
Steve Ranella.
Vanilla.
Ranella.
Ranella. I remember that when he was yeah. I remember he when he first started. I watched his show on Outdoor Channel.
We make it big time one day. We might get Steve Ranella
Oh yeah,
on.
wouldn't that be that'd be awesome. Let's see. Somebody asked me a question. Shane, what? Oh, Chuck wants to know what brand's my boat. It's a War Eagle 2170, Chuck. It's a 20. It's a 23. Yeah, 2023 2170. That's what it is.
You
I
want
know, John. I know. This is gonna come up for sure. John, I bet you were having a blast with that 5 footer. Love that rod. I call it my pistol. If y'all don't know, I posted a video John shared with me. He put a hurting on some big fish. He had seven that weighed 1646. Is that right, John?
That's right.
That's some big fish. He had a 260, the big, right?
That's right.
Bunch of twins, 220s, 230s. I posted a video of John letting them go. It was on public water, so it wasn't a private lake. So, hey, they're out there, and like John said, they're here before long. They're going to be getting fatter and fatter, and they'll start slowing down a little bit. Were they moving pretty fast, John?
Today they weren't. They were schooled up, but it's just they weren't biting as good. I went, the other day to the same place, and I backed off of them because somebody was supposed to go with me. You know,
Oh,
he wasn't able
yeah,
to go. I don't remember what happened or whatever.
I understand.
And I said I'm not gonna pound on them. Then I went back today, and the bite was not as good. But
Right,
I still, man, when you catch a fish that size, it's just you only
that's
catch
big
seven
fish.
of them. I mean, I caught more than seven, obviously, but when you're catching fish that big, it's just amazing. Uh,
Oh yeah, I went with you, and we caught those big fish. When your boat flipping 230s. I mean, you're having some fun, man.
Absolutely.
I mean, that is awesome. Let's see here. Mr. Sonny Stuckey, Sonny and Kathy's watching. Eddie Jones, Scott Dees, William White, Brad Deal's on here. Appreciate you watching. Tim Pentecost, Wade Cole, old Dooley's on here. Yeah, man, it's good to see these names, man. I kind of missed doing the show last week. That Thanksgiving I enjoyed Thanksgiving, but it kind of messed me up. I'm like, man, I'm missing something. Oh, yeah, that's right. We can't do the show this week. So
Yeah, it was different not doing it.
it was, man. You get used to doing. Old Tommy Randolph tuned in from Florida. Michael Trott, how you doing, buddy? And it's I wish if I'd have thought today, John, I would have downloaded that video on my WeTransfer and I could have put it on here because this thing takes a certain file. So
Okay, well,
I'll do it. I'll put it on here though. But like I
yeah.
said, it's on this page, guys. Shane Jones fishing. John letting those fish go. It's a good video. So
Oh no, that's no big deal. I mean, I just had a fun time doing it.
oh
Uh,
yeah,
Man, it was amazing. What is it?
Jeremy Hicks. What's up, Tom, Jess, and Shane?
Tom. Oh man, that was your name when you fished the tournament up there in Tennessee, wasn't it, John?
No, the whole joke behind Tom is back in the day, I was still in the military and I had a Facebook account and really didn't want to have it like anybody associating me with Facebook when I was in the
Well,
military. So I
right.
had an account named Tom Sawyer.
That's right.
So I
That's
kept
right.
it for a while. So a lot of my older friends, they like,
Yeah.
oh, Tom.
Gotcha.
And I think, hell, I had that thing for a while after I retired. But Tim Pentecost still got me this phone as Tom Sawyer. But
There you go. Tony Tucker, Angel Mike Neese, old country cousin Greg's tuned in. We got some.
do we need to run the commercial or are we going to do it at the
Oh, I don't know. I've been look. See, I done got out of the rhythm.
I know.
I will. I'm telling you. See, that's what you can't do that to me. I will. We will thank our sponsors before the show's over with. I promise you guys. Chris Collins on here. Don Gartman, appreciate you, Don. Keith Spencer. Let's see him. Oh, Jacob Alcorn. He's got a question here. It's a pretty long question. Let's see if we can get into that. Let's see. I really can't find crappie right now. I'm on a lake that's 19 foot low in Kentucky. The water temp's 51 degrees. I've been searching stick ups and open water and brush from 5 to 18 foot. He has lice codes. Please help. He's a rookie.
All
Man.
Right. So, but whatever river system feeds that thing, go out there to the ledge, wherever that, where the whatever river feeds it. Like I'm talking about, get on the ledge of that river, look for some bait, and those fish might possibly be schooling in orientation to where that bait is. Get on the ledges, like I said, of whatever's feeding it, and just do you some side imaging, find you some bait, and then drop that live scope zoom way out and look for schools.
Yeah, they got to be schooling, especially with that water temperature, don't you think, John?
Yeah, or I mean, find some timber that's in your comfortable fishing area that's out, on that ledge. Maybe get out of the sloughs or creeks, and get back out on the main lake, the where the main river is, and look around.
Yeah, man, I'm looking at all these comments, buddy. Appreciate your question, Jacob. Hopefully that helps, man. You can message John, man. If he's not busy fishing, he'll answer that thing quickly.
Jacob, just drop me a message of what lake you're on. I'll pull it up on the map.
Yeah, he'll try to help you. He'll try to dissect that thing down, man. Hope he can put you on some fish for sure.
And I can figure it out. You said it's down 15 feet.
Yeah, 19. He said that's a long way. Whew.
That is. I mean, we think of it as a lot, but those lakes, flood control and lakes they bring down every winter. Those fish are used to it. They move accordingly.
Oh yeah, for sure. Let's see.
Oh yeah.
Let's discuss the giveaway.
All right. So.
Oh yeah.
We are. To be firm in this, we are not giving it away right now. But
yes,
at some point, Jessica will say, "Hey, we're about to give away." All right, so tonight we're giving away a rod.
Yes,
we've done this before, but we're not giving away right now. At some point during the show,
one of these little old 5-foot casting rods.
Jessica will announce we're giving away the Outlaw Crappie Pole. So all you got to do is post to your timeline. www.fishoutlaw.com. Take a picture of that and post it here that you've done it. And what number did you pick tonight?
I'm gonna say 5th.
The 5th one that does it is gonna win that rod. So you got to be still like when we did this before. It went really fast. There was a lot of people posted it. And here's the thing: Shane's gonna have to pick which one's 5th, and here's why. Shane can see things across multiple platforms. We're not just on Facebook Live. He's on his live YouTube and other things, so he can see more comments than what we can. So don't think we're not trying to be fair in this. But so the 5th one that does it tonight, post to your timeline, www.fishoutlaw.com. When Jessica announces it, the fifth one will win the rod for the night. And Mr. JR and Amos from Outlaw Crappie Pole will mail it out to you. Our last winner was Jeff Walden.
Yeah, that's right.
He got his pole, so
that's awesome. Yeah, he did good. But like I said, this thing updates fast, guys. So you might be 2 or 3 comments behind. So I promise you, I'll go through here before I announce the winner. I will go through here 2 or 3 times whenever she says it. But we're gonna do it sometime. Like I said, we're a few minutes in the show, and
right. Kevin made a good point. Once you post it, let us know. You won't let you post a pic on the live, but let us know. That you posted it to your timeline, and when you do it, we'll get an update on it. But I appreciate it.
Yeah, big time. Let's see. I think some more questions. Justin Trott. John, how well do you think Jordan's going to fish for the ACT tournament?
But I think it's going to fish really well as far as catching fish. You and your dad, y'all going to catch a lot of fish. I'm just concerned more about, all right, let's just say the Alabama River, the water level's good like it is right now, and people find fish on the river, they might catch heavier weights than y'all are going to catch at Jordan if y'all do fish Jordan. So what he's talking about, the Alabama Crappie Trail, a lot of people are starting to call it ACT. I have a problem saying ACT because when I think ACT, I'm thinking of what it was before.
Right.
But I still call it the Alabama Crappie Trail. All right, so it's the next tournament coming up. You can fish the Alabama River or Lake Jordan. Well, obviously, in the past, Lake Jordan would produce some monster fish, but I don't think it is what it was at one time. You might could find some big ones and do well, but I think that the Alabama River might weigh in a heavier sack than Jordan will. But as the winter progresses, it gets harder and harder to find fish on the Alabama River, and that might be the challenge for some of the anglers. So it's going to be a gamble. People won't have to weigh the odds. Like, you don't want to gamble on fishing the river and have to travel maybe an hour to go put in and then have to travel back. So let's just say you got in some holiday traffic and you miss getting in the weigh-in line by 2 minutes. You're disqualified.
Yeah, that's not a good feeling there.
You might have to cut yourself off 30 to 40 minutes of fishing time to try to make it back to weigh-in back up on Lake Jordan at the state round. So it's going to be challenging. Whereas last time we did it, they had somebody checking bags on the Alabama River, and they sign off on your sheet and, saying, hey, seven fish alive, come bring them back. This time, it's going to be a gamble.
I was laughing because I was like, they have an ACT tournament.
I was thinking the same thing when he called that, because that used to be called the American Crappie Trail, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess that thing's gone now.
Yeah. Oh, Big Daddy, he talked to you, John, because he said he called you. He said he has upgraded his Helix 7 side scan, down scan, to a Helix 10. Make me feel good about this investment. He just bought it. It was on sale. So tell him what he's going to get out of that from a 7-inch screen to a 10, Johnny.
Big Daddy, it's going to be like 9 day, bro. I mean, that as far as seeing on side imaging from that 7 to that 10 side imaging Humminbird Helix. And if I'm not badly mistaken, I think I heard through the grapevine that Humminbird is getting rid of the 8s and 10s. And they'll just have, I think, maybe the 7, 9, and 12, if I'm not badly mistaken. Like I said, I heard that through the grapevine, but the best unit I've ever set up, prettiest picture, side image I've ever seen was on a 10-inch. And he asked me, he said, do you think it's worth it, me going from a 7 to 10? And I said, what are you doing with it? If you're just using it for a map, maybe not. So Big Daddy said, no, I want to use it, upgrade my side image. And I said, heck yeah, go ahead and make that.
There you go. You probably want to reiterate what you need to share on here, John, because some people's wondering how they post it on there. Are you wanting them to share it to their page, or you want to put it on here again?
Yeah, put it on here and share it to your page. That's all we're asking.
Yeah, that's all we do, guys. You type in when Jessica says www.fishoutlaw.com on the comments here, and then you share that on your page also, guys. And
And Shane can see whoever the fifth one was on this live feed, and then he can verify that you shared.
And then we'll verify the winner before the show's over with. We had to break it down, and some people are like, well, I don't, they don't see it, but I see them all as long as I update this thing. So.
Y'all, at times I'm not very tech savvy. Shane and Big Daddy has up all of them.
Oh yeah, no kidding. Yeah,
he can figure it out now. He can.
Yeah, he does. He's on top of all that stuff. Hey, Brandon Threadgill, appreciate you tuning in, buddy. James Bailey, Holden Higgs is on here. Yeah, Kevin answered a question that John, you already covered that. Well, no, he didn't. I'm sorry, Kevin. Kevin wants to know the ones that fish the river. Do you think transporting back to the state ramp will cause dead fish issues?
I don't think so when it's cold as this.
Yeah, cold as the water is.
Yeah, last year it was hot as crap.
It was hot.
June, yeah, and everybody made it back even then with their fish. I don't think I had a fatality, but it was something stupid I did. But anyway,
it happens. Oh, Shiloh's tuned in. Oh, Don Gartman, is there a different stiffness in the 5-foot outlaw rods? It's just one stiffness. It's like a medium light or something, isn't it, John? Because it's not real limber, but it's got a lot of tips. So.
Yeah, it does. About, I guess, 8 to 10 inches from the tip. It's got a lot of backbone.
It's got a little tip right here, but when it loads up right here, it's stout right there, about 3 eyes down.
The 5'8" and the 5 foot are the same blank. They just cut the butt off the 5'8" to make it where big boy bellied folks, people with a lot of clothing on, the butt doesn't get in the way.
Yeah. Don't bruise your ribs up. But no, it's a good pole, guys. I've used it. I've got one over yonder that's got fish slime all over. This is a brand new one here because we'll talk about that. Somebody's going to win those two rods here in a little bit. Let's make sure
Have we had a thing since the tournament? The last tournament?
Yeah, Neely?
Yeah.
I don't know if we had a show since the last. Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
We did. We done one show. That's right. We did. We sure did.
Oh. We were off. We were off last week. Like it was kind of different. Not doing the show, but
yeah, it was.
Just because rain.
I wanted to congratulate the winners.
Oh yeah, go ahead. For the tournament. Shiloh
and Tim.
Oh yeah.
I was trying to figure out.
I was wanting.
I was trying to figure out.
Yeah, Shiloh and Tim won. That's exactly right.
God, he's coming like what butt in the amateur thing.
Yeah, Division 2.
Oh, that's right. I don't think we did because we were going to give a bunch of stuff away if he caught 11 pounds and he caught 10 something. I remember this now.
Oh,
now that's right. I was thinking. You're right, Kevin. Kevin just reminded us. Shiloh and Tim won. Sure did. Man, I have to remember. I should have wrote all that down, but they had a real good tournament.
Shiloh was talking crap. I'll just start off with that.
Oh
yeah. Yeah, there you go. So Shiloh was talking junk about pounds on 5 fish, and I said, if you do, bud, I'll give away 2 poles, and I'll pay for them myself. Won't have anything to do with the rod company. And he came in there with a sack now. Boy,
Oh yeah, he had 10 pounds something, didn't he?
Yeah, he came in there with 10 pounds. And I got kind of nervous there for a minute. I bought some corn and put 2 rods out there, but anyway, I got to keep it. But it was a heck of a thing. And then Scott Dees, a friend of ours that lives down in South Alabama, fishes Upper Tensas and that area down there.
Yeah, that's right.
He got Division 2 as his first Alabama Crappie Trail tournament. And
sure did. I remember that.
About 2 pounds in that thing. And we were super proud of him. We're super proud of our other friends that did well. Kevin and Jessica did well. Kevin McCarley did well. Aaron Knight did well. Um, Ryan Willis
and Eddie did well.
Eddie did well
Yeah.
in their division. So we got a lot of friends that listen to us on this thing. There was some big bags that got weighed in there for
What was big fish? It was 260, 270. What?
256.
270. It was a big two. I remember that. It was 270. I think you're right.
Jessica and I weighed in on their scales at 257. And there was multiple big fish weighed in and good sacks weighed in. It stacked up. Like Jessica and I were there at like 9. What did we have? Maybe 9. I don't remember what it was. 9 something. 9.
Yeah, that was a right.
And then the one right above us was 1/100th of a pound above us, and right above it was 1/100th. So
it might have been like 918, 919, 920. Like
yeah, I remember it was all tight as all get out. I remember that
18, 1920, and it was just drops of water. You know, if you get your bag sat down and it gets weighed immediately, it might be different. You know, it's just that quick. The water can make a difference. You know.
Oh yeah, big time.
But it was a great turnout. We had how many in the Division 1? 25?
25 or 26.
Division 1 and
I don't know.
There were like 40 votes in the whole tournament.
That's right.
It was great.
Yeah, that division 2 is going to help a lot of people because I know Scott was like, man, I hadn't been up there, and I remember him texting me. He got your number for me in case something happened or something, and
yeah.
He said him, Scott Dees and Derek Howard. That's who his partner was.
Well, what was neat about that was you had sent them my number, and he sent me a message through Messenger. And Jessica and I, we fished up north the day before the tournament, and I was like, "Dang, I need to call him and let him know, this is my number. Everything's cool, So I called him, and I could hear an echo. This Rascals fishing just right across the river from me. He said, "I'm looking at y'all." I was like, "Well, I'll be damned." Honestly, So
oh yeah, man. Let me go back here and make sure I didn't miss any questions. I'll try to get to them, man. We got a lot of people tuned in here, man. Oh, Matt Harris said it's about time to hook up with me for a trip. He's almost tagged out on bucks, man. It's still early, Matt. It ain't even Christmas yet, man. Jeez.
Oh man, I've got a friend of mine. His little boy, he's been smoking on my. He's like I'm about to back him off.
It's been a great hunting season. I mean, Big Daddy's posted more. I stayed with Big Daddy the other weekend, and I'm telling you, he posted, man, a bunch of pictures of people killing deer, especially kids, and some good deer, man. Some really good deer. It's that time of year, man. Time of year, John. Let's I know everybody's gonna want to know how you caught that big old bag today and what you were doing, and I know they were probably schooling, but what was you running your live scope out to and stuff to find those things?
Okay, so if you get a school of bigger fish like that, obviously they're going to show up as a bigger blob on your screen. So
right.
What I've been doing probably the past 2 weeks is where I've been fishing, there's been big schools of fish, and the smaller fish, I would say smaller fish, but the smaller fish are sticking together, the bigger fish are sticking together in schools. It's kind of weird right now. So I'm taking my live scope, and at times I'm running it all the way out to 175 feet.
I remember you told me that. I was like, whoa.
Yeah, I'm just scanning, and I'll
looking for some interference.
Scan, and I'll see a blob. Now, you can tell once you watch it enough that the bigger blobs and the tighter blobs are crappie, whereas like it might be a bigger, longer stream or something like that. It'll be bait, and I'm looking for the bait too because the schools are oriented with that bait. That's why they're out free roaming. They're waiting for that bait to come by, or they're running around looking for those schools of bait, and you'll actually see them come up through and crush the bait. But I'm taking that live scope and I'm running it just as far as I can and feel comfortable about seeing those schools. I'd say max I've done this week's been 200 feet. If I'm running fast, I'll just run it out to 110 feet. and I'm looking for that school. I see the school, I go in, I start, minimizing. I go from 110 to 100 to 90 to 70. I'm getting close enough. I'm getting to 60 feet. Then I might go to 50, and that might be as far as I zoom in on them. And I start fishing for them. And I'm just chasing that school the whole time. But if I'm running real fast with the trolling motor, 110 to 130 feet is how far out I'm looking. But if I'm just running and I can like run up in the area and go left and right and see where the contour starts coming up, and I know they've been in like 15 to 25 foot of water, and I can cover that little gap right there, I'm running it, where I can cover it. Might be 135 feet out. But I'm looking that far out and identifying those schools and then going in there and fishing them.
What you're saying, instead of seeing something like this, you're seeing something like this.
Oh,
it's taller in there, that's crappie instead of bait.
Right, and you can look at what level the water column is in. Ryan Willis came with me Tuesday, or he didn't come with me. He brought his boat over, and we went fish the lake. And, he said, "Man, I don't know my live scope's ever run out that far before."
It's different, and it's what you get acclimated to as far as your eyes. I've done it, and it's especially down in Florida, you can run it out in 100 foot because you're not going to go far, and you're going to run across a school. So,
right, and hell, Ryan did really good, and we were fishing in some really bad conditions. It was blowing, I'd say, at a minimum 15 Tuesday.
Ooh.
We were busting waves and still catching fish. It was a good day.
That's good. You was throwing an 8th though, wasn't you, John? When y'all throwing 8 son?
Yeah, we had it throw 8.
Yeah, that day.
We had some fish that we came up on one time. They were like 19 foot of water, but they'd hugged the bottom, and you could still see the school. Hell, I put that damn quarter on there and sent it down there, and they were just running the bottom. And I could get that quarter, and it would finally get down there to 18 feet before they made a turn, and the right by the pack and thump it. And I mean, this is blackfish majority. We caught a few white crappie.
Right.
Mine had a big monster white roll up.
I know you sent me a picture of a 16-incher. I meant to.
Yeah.
I need to share it on here, John. Keep talking. I got my phone cut off. Never mind. My bad. Yeah, you caught one in there because I called John. He said, "Man, I set the hook and I was reeling the fish in." He goes, kind of looked down. He goes, "Whoa, whoa." And he said it's a big whitefish. It's 16 inches or a little over, wasn't it, John?
That was I think it was Monday.
Monday, I think so.
Came over and fished Tuesday, and he rolled a monster up, and it popped. And he went to turn around and get his net, and he didn't have his net out. I still don't think.
Hey, Ryan ain't used to that. I need a net. Jacob's asking the same question. He said, do the schooled up crappie in open water move a lot, or would you say it's characteristic for them to stay somewhat stationary in open water school? I mean,
everyone's different, and the more you mess with them, the more they're gonna move.
Exactly.
I tell everybody is that first cast you make, you need to be accurate. That's gonna be your best pass over those fish. And once you pop one out of it, and if you catch a lower fish that comes all the way up through them, it might bust the school up. And half of them might go this way, and half of them might go to the left. So, and then you got to decide which one you chase. But it is so much fun chasing them around.
It is. It's different. The schools act different, John. Sometimes them suckers, they're hovering. They're just like this, and they're 10 foot, and you can throw a 32nd with no wind, and float it down there, and you pick them off the top, and that's the ideal conditions. But like John said, the wind starts getting up. They're 12 foot deep. You're going to an 8th. And, you might get lucky and take a 16th and cut them off. You're trying to lead them, but you're going to learn to lead those fish, especially. But John, to tell you, you also got to guess if they're going right or left or going to go, down or up. They're doing different stuff all the time, Jake.
So here's another thing people don't realize. All right, so we were fishing those fish, and they were 18 foot deep. If you're running the mount for your transducer that comes with a live scope, it's 8 degrees. So it's throwing 8 degrees off whichever side you got on. I've got mine on the right side. So it's throwing 8 degrees off the shaft to get away from the trolling motor, the bottom of the trolling motor, right? So think about this. The deeper you go, the further right that beam is shooting. So if you're throwing out 30 feet and you're going down 30 feet away from the trolling motor and you're going down 18 feet, it's going to be even further right. So when you make that cast and you want to get down to 18 feet, 30 feet out from the trolling motor, you've got to throw extremely right, more than where the trolling motor is pointing, because that beam is getting further and further. You just got to think of the angle. The angle is further and further away and down to the right, the further you get away and the deeper you get. The depth is the biggest thing. So you get 18 feet, you might be throwing 6 foot, maybe 6 feet right of where the trolling motor beam's pointed. Now, when you go to a 0 degree mount, what a lot of people are doing and offsetting it from the trolling motor, you don't have to worry about that. You got
that's what I'm running. I got a pretty straight beam, but like John says, you're real bright on those crappie right here, and then if they start moving right, they'll start to fade, and you got to go right, and then you got to cast. You cheat to that side if that fish is going that way. It's kind of like dove hunting, guys. You've led birds, you're leading these crappie. I mean, seriously.
Well, it's not necessarily the leading when they're sitting still and they're that deep. You might cast it and it starts out in the beam up in the top water of the water column. Well, you'll lose. Everybody's like, I'm losing my jig. Well, what it's doing, it's not in the beam anymore, because the fish are down here at the bottom of the beam at 18 feet because it's at an angle. Well, when the jig hits at the top, yeah, you can see it. Well, because you didn't cast to the right. Well, theoretically, when you first make your cast, if you're throwing to 18-foot deep fish, you might not see it splash and hit if you're throwing to the right. But eventually, it's going to come into your beam. Does that make sense, Shane?
Yeah. We could talk about this all night, but yeah, it really can. But you will learn. I guess you just really learn as you go with it. But if you're using live scope to chase those,
explain it again for me.
You said you don't.
I would like to hear it again, because that was like really like.
And
yeah,
yeah.
All right, so
if you're using live scope to chase crappie, this is great information. If you don't have a live scope, it's really not going to help you. But if you're chasing schools, this is critical information. No kidding.
And your live scope transducer is on the right side or left side of your trolling motor. If the fish are deeper, 18 foot deep, where you're going to throw in the water, you need to exaggerate it if they're deep. Because if you've got the 8 degree mount, not the 0 degree mount, the 8 degree mount, the deeper it goes, the further right or left the beam is shooting out.
Yeah, because it's setting like this, guys.
Right.
They designed it that way. When you click it down to down scan, it has to look around the foot of your trolling motor.
That's right.
So it's literally setting like that. So John's saying if it's on the right side of your trolling motor and you cast, you're going to have to exaggerate to the right side.
Right. Because the deeper it goes, the more right it's going to go, the more left. It's not going to go. It's going to be that those fish were already there, but the way you were looking at it, the beam's coming back to. It's so hard to explain. Gosh, it's hard to explain. But
it is. It really is.
Deeper. It's better to get the offset 0 if you can, because everything's straight on.
It is, guys. You know, a lot of people running live scope and they're trying to learn, and that's just useful information if you have it, because you'll see those fish and you can load the boat chasing those things, but you'll just learn as you go. That's the.
Yeah, I'm gonna draw it on a thing. Y'all continue talking. Right?
Yeah, you're good. Let's see if we can get some more.
Gosh,
William White's talking about it's time for the lakes to flip. We still got a little bit though, John, don't we? For these lakes turn over?
No, that's happened to a lot of them.
Has it? Okay. Well, William,
fishing is so good that in the mornings before I go to work, he's gone fishing before I even leave.
I know. Hey, I've called him about 7 o'clock, Jess. He's like, he's already sent me pictures and stuff. So
I get up most mornings and I'm like, right now the fishing is on fire.
It is good, guys. This is the time of year that's fun from now till February, but then you got to deal with some north winds and stuff. All your dock shooting starting to turn on. I know Nick Robinson said this needs to be called live scope cast, but up there and where he is, those docks will be starting to turn on, but we're just trying to help people that's got live scope, because They really don't know this unless they go out with somebody that has done it. Uh, just like Ryan went with John, he hadn't done much of it. He picked up on it with John Tuesday. Yeah, Chad said I've shot a case of shells. Yeah, that's what I do, Chad, when I'm bird hunting. But that's the best way to explain it, though, trying to lead those fish like that. Let's see.
Okay. I'm drawing a picture here, and I'm trying to make it make sense.
Cameron's talking. Well, Doc's on Talcon Hole crappie. There is some, Cameron, when you catch those fish on those docks down at Talcon, especially right now, I won't say they're resting because they want to run so bad. Like they might stop on a stump sometimes in the mornings or afternoon, and then when you catch one, they'll take off. They're schooling right now in the river channels big time. But you can still find some fish on some structure, but it's not going to be far from that creek channel. So if you can find some docks, Cameron, that are close to that creek channel, you might catch some fish that are taking a break there. You know, and that's what you want to do.
Okay, so
there you go.
Trying to show this to everyone. So all right, so the fish is deeper here. The beam is coming off the trolling motor shaft, and the further you get down, the more the angle is, and the further right. And so here's the distance out, and here's the depth. So the further away from the trolling motor, the depth is going to be the biggest thing. It's going to move, whichever side is on right or left. You don't have to exaggerate your cast to get it down to the fish. And honestly, you might not see your jig splash. You're like, oh, I threw extremely right. And I'll tell Jessica sometimes, like, all right, the fish is deeper. Just stay with the cast. And it'll keep going down, and eventually it'll come into the beam.
And you see it pop up, right?
Right, she's on the fish. Yeah. So
it takes a lot of practice, guys. Especially, a lot of people get kind of frustrated with it because you're going to see that fish real bright, and then as it moves off, it starts fading, and then you'll see it bright again. But it's fun once you learn the clicks, though.
That's with the 8-degree offset.
Right.
0 degree, you're straight up and down.
Yeah, I'm running a 0 fish performance. I forget what mount that is.
That's the one I just bought that I hadn't gotten in yet.
Fish Obsession. It is a tough mount, John. I beat the mess out of that thing I have. Well,
all right, so we hadn't touched on this yet. I got that new trolling motor.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So we got the Ultrex Quest, and for anybody that's thinking about getting one, the shaft on the Ultrex Quest is bigger. Your typical mount will not go on there. Well, it will, but barely. You won't be able to put your rubber under the transducer mount. You're just going to have to go straight to the shaft with the mount. But they're making some oversized transducer mounts now that will go to the shaft. Fish Obsessed has got one. We weren't able to put the rubber up under ours, so we didn't know yet. And we're still using the 8-degree, but I ordered that 0 degree.
Yeah, that's what I'm running. And it takes some getting used to too, guys, because you get used to cheating it, one side or the other. But
we disregard all that. Absolutely.
That's true, Tim. That's true.
I went into it, but man, when people first get it, they got that 8-degree, and they're like, "Golly, when it gets deeper, I'm losing my jig." That's why you're losing.
That's exactly right.
It's going out of you're gonna come into the beam and out of the beam. They're like, "I'm losing it at 12 to 15 feet deep." I'm like, "That's why, because you made the cast in it, and the beam's progressively going out." And that's hard.
Yeah. It is, man. You get so detailed about it, guys. We could do a whole show on that. Oh, Big Daddy's asked us, talk a minute about those green lights. Had a lake house owner in Miller's Ferry ask about them. There's a guy called Big Daddy about a green light. I guess he's going to put one on the dock down at Miller's Ferry. He's going to attract a bunch of gar down there at Miller's Ferry is what he's going to do.
Yeah. The green lights are pretty cool. There's an underwater light that people put on their boathouse docks, and it brings in the zooplankton, and the zooplankton bring in the shad. It brings in a whole ecosystem of fish. Uh, and that in return brings in crappie. But what happens is that gets a lot of gar.
Yeah, it does. It really does. I'm glad you brought that up, Kevin. Kevin Hicks is talking about the new nudge system that's coming out. Mine's on the way right now. I guess we can touch base on that. You've got one? You got one yet, John?
What's that?
The nudge system for the power brakes.
No.
What it is, guys, is Chad's come out with another pedal that instead of running 100%, it only runs 80, and it makes your rear trolling motors propel you forward. So if you get close to a fish and don't want to hit your front trolling motor, you can hit another pedal, and it just nudges you up to the fish.
Oh.
It's pretty interesting. They call it nudge because you're using the rear trolling motors. You got another pedal. Some people put it on the right side where they can just, so I don't want to hit this trolling motor because I'm right on this fish with a long rod or whatever, and you can just nudge it up. So they haven't been out long. Some videos are out on power brakes now, but that's a cool little addition. Mine's on its way, matter of fact. So thank you, Kevin, for bringing that up because it's been talked about a little bit. Let's see.
All right.
Larry Floor. Uh-oh.
Time.
Okay, just
Fifth person, Fish Outlaw.
www.fishoutlaw.com.
There it is, guys. She called it. Y'all got to be quick. The fifth one. www.fishoutlaw.com. The fifth one, guys. Whoa, boy, they are quick. Good Lord of mercy. Y'all guys are fast, man. That is fun, man. That is fun. I'll refresh it here in a minute. I'm sure somebody's already got it already because y'all are sitting on go. Good for y'all, man. That's awesome.
That's awesome.
Oh, yeah, y'all are sitting on go, buddy. When you said that, Jess, I mean, they were getting down, man. That thing said, it looked like a slot machine.
Get ready to do it. But, yeah, we appreciate that. It helps Outlaw Crappie Poles a lot. And
yes, it does, guys. And they give a rod away every other show, which is a great deal. Somebody's already won it, and I'll refresh it here in just a second. I guarantee somebody's already won it.
Oh, there's no doubt. I've seen probably 10 already.
Yeah, I guarantee you, man. I appreciate y'all jumping on that.
Oh dang.
Greg John McGraw, no kidding. Yeah, Taylor Olson said he done a video on the nudge today. I did see that, Taylor. I don't know how much it's going to cost. I have no idea. We'll update you. Somebody else asked that too on here. Larry Floyd's got a good question. Then we'll find the winner, guys, because it's had time to update. Does high visibility line, talking about high vis line, affect your trolling negatively? You think it does, John? If you're trolling,
Oh, you talking about like trolling pole, like pushing?
Yeah, if he's pushing poles or if he's pulling or pushing.
I would say that not. I wouldn't say high vis. I'd say whatever weight you're using is the biggest thing. To push your jigs up or allow them to fall more. I think we've learned so much with having forward-facing sonar. Is like I think presentation is the biggest thing with fish nowadays. It's not necessarily everybody thought that they didn't bite their line shy or I had to do this and I had to do that. I think the biggest thing is just don't do something that makes the fish not want to bite. We've talked about this so many times. It's like the fish starts following the bait. Don't do something that makes the fish quit following the bait.
Tell him what's the number one rule though if that fish engages your bait. Tell him what you don't do.
You don't.
That helps.
Don't
dip it.
Yeah, the fish is falling at a 45. Don't slow down where the fish starts going at a flat line. All that. Keep his nose up. Keep it coming. If he starts wanting a little bit faster, get it up, get him excited. Do whatever you got to do. First time you cast in there, you just do a regular retrieve and they nose up and they don't eat. Do something a little different the next time. I mean, I might, just do a little light twitch and get them more excited. Um, you know, just try something different today. Today I really had to do some things differently to get.
Guess who won the rod, guys?
Dude,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. James Trott won the rod right there. Congratulations, John. James, I counted 2 or 3 times here. Philip Donson was 1, Waylon Browder was 2, Adam Acker was 3, Holden Higgs was 4, James Trott was number 5. Congratulations, James.
good deal. Hey,
Good deal, man. Y'all were quick with that, man. That thing. I mean, I ain't exaggerating. It looked like a slot machine, man. That was cool. Yeah, man. We try to give stuff. If you got a question on here, guys, besides live scope or anything, like this guy's talking, Larry's talking about trolling stuff, please ask it, because we get a lot of live scope questions, then we start going in detail about it, and we don't want to leave the guys out that don't have live scope. I promise you. The dock shooters, the trollers, the bank beaters, the bank fishermen. I mean, we've all been there, done that, and Justin Trott said he's got a new rod to fish with.
that's awesome.
He just stole his dad's rod.
So
Oh man.
I was fishing Monday, and there was an older gentleman that was out there fishing, and he's always spider rigging. And he catches fish. He fishes a lot. Like every time you go to the lake we're on, I see him. And he said, "Man, I'm just not catching them today." And I said, "Well, they're a little bit deeper than they normally are." And I said, "There's schools out here." I said, "You probably run through them at times. You know how 3 or 4 poles go down." He said, "I do." I said, "Well, let me look with my electronics and see where your jigs are running." Well, his jigs are running at like 9 to 10 feet. I said, "If you can get them where they run about 13 feet, you'll start catching fish."
There
So
you go.
he lowered them down some, and he made his pass. We come back, we passed each other again. He said, "I've already caught 10 since I saw you." And I mean, just
That's cool, man. I ran it. Hey, we was at Talcon, John, and there was a guy in a John boat. He had some rods out, and me and Lee Collum was sitting there fishing. I said, "Hey, buddy, your rods are finna go down." He goes, "Huh?" I said, "There's a school of 100 fish fixing to go into your boat." He looked at me like I was crazy, and I seen he was at the right depth. I seen his baits. Hey, 4 rods went down. He was yanking stuff. He said, "Hey," he got so excited. I said, "Man, there's plenty of schools. You just stay right where you are. You're in the right spot." So. Oh man, spider scoping it is. A lot of people use live scopes trolling, man.
if you want a spider rig, putting that pole on the side of that boat would make so much sense, because you can just sit there and look at all those jigs and just not have to worry about moving that trolling motor around. You can just shine every one of those jigs or those double minnow rigs, just push. I could see it being so handy to get everything set, which I did before I swapped back over.
Right. Yeah, exactly. DeAndre Butler, he's make a comment. Ain't nothing like casting to him. You're exactly right. I mean, a couple of weeks ago, I probably mentioned on the show, the current was running real strong on the Alabama River, and I looked in the top, and it was loaded. And I was like, well, I couldn't keep the boat on them, guys, so I just spotlocked the trolling motor and threw upriver and let that bait count it down to 8 or 10. And as soon as I started ticking them limbs, I just slowed down. And when I ticked those limbs, I just sped it up just a notch. And we sat there and caught 30-something crappie. Just old school, hitting the tips of the top, man. It was fun.
Oh, we mentioned earlier about the I did talking about that old tricks.
Yes, the Quest, yeah.
But I said the shaft was bigger, and I had to have a different mount for your transducer. But that thing's so quiet. I feel like it's all right. My first impressions after having a week, it's quieter. It doesn't pop yet. It might start popping and clicking like old tricks do.
Right.
We've had it for a while. It's quieter and it's faster.
Yeah, I know Eric said that. He told us that big 22-foot Ranger, it run 4 mile an hour. So I mean, that's impressive. Oh, Corey's got a good question here, and I know it depends on your transducer, but I've got a 3-position live scope mount. Is it best to have it dead on the mark or one click above it, one click below it? A 32, you can run a click or two above it, right, John?
Yeah, on a 32, you can click it up one. You know, on that 34, you've only got 3 positions you can put it in. Uh,
Maybe that's what he probably running a 34 if I had to guess. Car is.
and I know that we talked about this before, but when you go into solar setup, installation, and you got in installation, there's like the depth range that you can set it on. I put mine at 0, like it set at 0.
John told me that, and you can see your jig splash, an initial splash, Corey. That install depth 0.00 and hit done, and you will actually see it. It doesn't have to wait. There's no delay. I mean, as soon as it splashes, and it helps people track their jig and stuff too, because somebody that cast, or especially an eighth or something, it really helps. That's a big help, for sure.
I think when you first buy it, like factories, like 1 foot install depth.
Right, that's right.
Because if you ever notice that, like you're looking at the lines of like the way the angle is, it'll have it, where it's totally turned up, so it picks up your jig as soon as it hits the water.
Yeah, he's got a 32, John. My 32, I got it clicked up pretty good now. I really do. It's exaggerated. That 45-degree strip, that it's reading off of, it's clicked up a little bit, and I'm catching fish, 20 foot deep right now. So
that's the I guess that would be the advantage of putting your install 0 34. Like clicking it up on the 32.
Right. Justin Trott wants to know though, the water clarity of the Alabama River. I guess he's talking about right there in Prattville. I know what it is downriver. It's still clear. The rain has not gave it any color at all where I'm fishing down the Miller's Ferry. So
I think it's pretty much the same everywhere. It's got that pretty little green tint to it. We've gotten some rain, but we were so dry that it soaked a lot of it up. Runoff yet to start putting the rain in the river.
Exactly. Yeah. The creek's still got to fill up, Justin. I mean, the creeks are so low and dry, and you might get a little bit of runoff from the edge of the lake where the lake's down, but like in Demopolis where I fish, it's 1.5 feet, 2 foot low, man. And it's normally it's up and rolling right now. So, but heck, we're hopefully going to get some rain this weekend. I don't know how much we're going to get. I'm headed back to Talcon and go down there and chase some of them schooling fish. Friday night, I'm headed back down there. Let's make sure I didn't miss any questions. William White, appreciate your question there, William. What rod mount are y'all using for trolling, John? What mount is that most people use? I have no clue.
Millennium. Everybody was. I think I got like 2 sets. I think I said a tight lock and a set of millenniums on the house. I keep telling myself, I see certain scenarios on the lake. I'm like,
we're not so long.
Yeah, I'll rig the rods up and I'm like, we're gonna go do it, and then I don't, and then I know if I got out there and it didn't work right in the beginning, I'm like, put all them long poles up, I'm just gonna cast, and then so I've probably rigged the double middle rigs up 3 different times and then hung them back up.
I poured out $1,000 worth of minnows in the last 2 or 3 months. I get them and the fish are wanting to react to the bait instead of just really inhale it when you get down there. So you got to make them react to it. Let's see, Keith Spencer. That's a great question. That's a good one. Appreciate your question, Keith. Is it worth the investment to put power brakes on your boat even though you spider rig 50% of the time?
Keith, that is a great question. All right. I've thought of like so many scenarios I could use them for. So if I had double middle rigs and I'm pushing into a pile, I could push those things into the pile, set them on it, and if I started like going too far over the pile or the stumps or whatever, I could hit those brakes and just ease up and back over the pile and push those minnows back and forth. You just let them soak.
Oh yeah, it's crazy, man. Once you have them, Keith.
Oh gosh, it'd be so helpful.
It's unbelievable because
Yes. I'm sorry. Yes, I have a problem just giving definitive sometimes, but yes, it's the correct answer.
Yeah, because I use them a lot. If the current's going I can get above it and just back up and fish, when I'm casting, Keith. So I can see John's point. If you got a lot of fish loaded on the stump and you don't want to take your boat over them with the water clarity and let them see the boat, hey, just ease back up on them, catch them, back up, catch them. And you don't have to blow them out with the front trolling motor. That's the whole design of them, those power brakes. If you get a chance to go with somebody, Keith, that has them, but if you're able to buy them, hey, there's a great investment. I promise you. I promise you it is.
Yeah, Bo said it about correctly.
Yep. Yeah, if you have brakes, you can't go without them. It's true. My switch messed up on my brakes, and I was running wide open at Talcott. I stopped and got to working on that switch and got it back on, because I'm telling you, you can cover water faster. But there's so many scenarios, guys, as this crappie fishing evolves, man. Like I said, there's still old dock shooting. There's still old take a weedless jig, and you're still gonna have court fishing in the spring. But right now, the schooling fish, the live scope rules right now, man. I promise you. And if you can learn how to chase them. Clinton Tyson wants to know how much are the power brakes. They had them on sale. They had $400 off that Black Friday. What were them things? I don't want to tell no stories.
There's a discount. You got a discount.
I got a discount code too, Clinton. If you'll, I know it'll save you $150 for sure. But it comes with the brackets, the breakaway brackets. So I don't know if you ever noticed the detail. I've got a mount over there. You got shear pins in them that break the shear in case you run into a stump or something. I've been beating the crap out of mine. I'm not gonna lie to you. I've been beating them up. So
take off with them down and it'll shear the pin.
I've done that before, a couple times.
Yep.
So
yeah.
The keys in the holder.
Yeah, we got a habit Jessica and I do is we'll take the ignition key out.
Yeah. Jessica says that a lot. And that's a great. I'll walk back to the back of my boat and look down, and now I can feel when I have them down. If I start to give gas, whoa, because
you shoot the gas to mine.
Yeah, your motor's that motor's a little stouter than mine, man.
It's shearing some.
Man, we dropped a lot of information on this show. I know we went into a lot of live scope stuff, guys, but there's a ton of people running them, and we want y'all to get better with them. We want you to learn, and that's what all this tips is, where you can share 16 pounds and 4 ounces worth of crappie, because, hey, I want to see it. You know what I mean? I don't know if y'all seen they done a study in the Blue Mountain Lake. Did I share it with you, John? Yeah, I did. In Arkansas, they tested the waters. It's a 3,000-acre flood impoundment. They tested it, and they've seen more 12-inch fish plus than they ever have, ever in that lake. They got a 20-fish limit, of course, per man, but they've been running live scope on it. Everybody's talking about you're going to fish this lake out and stuff, and it's I'll have to share it on my page, but it's great information. They spawn. I mean, of course, it's a fertile lake, but I think it's interesting. Everybody thinks lake could be fished out in 5 years, and I don't know. I'm not, there's so many arguments on it, but that was an interesting study. I shared it with Big Daddy, and we talked about it a little bit. So
they go in 5-year cycles, guys. If your
exactly.
Lake's down, just keep fishing.
Exactly. And what's crazy, and John attests to this, you might see 2,000 or 3,000 crappie to catch your 25. I mean, that's the God's honest truth, guys. I mean, all those fish don't fire out of those schools. I mean, I shared a video on my page of 100 fish. I think we caught 4 out of there, And Eric shared a picture with John and I. It was 45 feet of a school of crappie over in Georgia. I mean, they were 4 foot deep, 45 foot long. And, you just don't catch all of them. And I guess that's just the good Lord protected them too, because if they did bite, you'd be done pretty quick. So you still have to cover water. So.
Oh gosh, that's what can be so frustrating about it. You think it's going to be so easy.
Oh yeah, you see those fish guys. Well, I'll share this picture right here, guys. I meant to share this while we were doing it before we shut off. Y'all see those fish on that stump right there? There's probably 20 fish right there. I'll zoom in right here, and you can see them. I'm starting to find a lot of stumps paying attention to John and Eric and them, and I only caught a few fish out of that. I ran into 5 or 6 stumps like that. Some of them had 50, 100 fish on them. I mean, you have to just keep on, You have to just keep on beating on them.
And a lot of times, some stumps are it doesn't work out for you. Move on. Don't sit there and waste your valuable time saying, "Oh, they're eventually going to do it." Go to the next one if you've got another plan. Go to the next one. Just
Oh
keep.
yeah. Well, like I said, those stumps, that's side scan. That's not live scope. Old school, you could have thrown a buoy out and cast it on for sure. I don't know, Josh Devaney, how do y'all like to preserve y'all's fish? I don't know if he's talking about if when they're alive.
Freezing them, yeah.
Yeah. Great question, Josh.
I'm still like I guess like I've always been. I've got a wonderful vacuum sealer, but I will take them. We take Ziplocs and we'll put water in there and just kind of lap it over the side of the sink and get all the air out of it, seal it up, and heck, normally between my mother and my family and friends, they get eaten quickly. And we certain stockage level, and we work it down, and we'll back up.
Yeah, I still freeze them in water. I got these old Ziplocs because they don't last long around here too either. I fill them up with water. You can actually fill them up with water, Josh, and leave the top that much of the bag and just start sealing it to the corner and push it on that water, and it'll push all the air out of there. There's a little trick that almost it's not quite good as vacuum sealing, but it does push all the air out of it. So
that's why somebody rolling the side off the sink and it'll pull all that air out. And you can
right.
seal the top up. Now, I used to get my grandmother and other people to save like their gallon jugs, and I those washed out and cut a hole out of the side of them and put those fillets in there and put water in there and freeze them in them. I've done it every way you can imagine. The biggest thing is when you do freeze your fish is do it in proportions that, like our family's got smaller with our oldest, that's living here with our oldest going off to college. So we know what we need to lay out for us to cook for the night. So, just plan things like that so you don't waste fish.
Exactly. I mean, hey, that's a good problem to have, Josh. Is like he said he was just curious and was getting some ready for the freezer. There you go, Josh. Freeze them in water, man. Best thing you can do, and for sure. Justin Trott. That's a great question too, Justin. We'll try to end this show because we'll talk all night. We've done been an hour. How much difference does it make to use mustard on your crappie when you fry them? Justin, I'll tell you a story. I used to take mustard and make a little slurry with water, just about a quarter size. And Shane Welch, one of my buddies, I look over there and he went to shake some mustard on, the top blew off and it just soaked the fish in mustard. I mean, he just lathered them all up. Best fish I've ever eaten. And what it does, it's just like ribs or pork. It makes the breading thicker.
Binding, Nate.
Yeah, exactly. It is a good binder, but it really don't taste the mustard at all. I mean, it gives it a great taste. I used to add a little hot sauce to it too. I do it for a lot of RMC. I do it. We cook for a lot of our customers, and hey, haven't anybody turned it down yet. I promise you.
Yeah, we used to do it a lot with mullet, the mustard mullet, but I love it like that. I love them in hot sauce too. Jessica's kind of spoiled. She's got her certain way she wants her fish fried. Jessica said, "Do not promote mustard on crappie." She said she's so happy with the way we cook them.
Yeah. Oh yeah, man. Everybody's got their ways of doing it. I've soaked them in buffalo sauce, guys, and cooked them, and it was wonderful. My boss man and I, we cooked them over at his house one night. We soaked them in buffalo sauce and fried them. They were good. You just can't eat too many of them because that crappie, it'll soak up some hot sauce and it'll mess with you. So
we like some people fry them a lot less than we do. We fry ours, they're dark brown. If some people are like, "You burnt those fish," I'm like, "No, that's how we eat them, bud."
Yeah, I've learned though, John, to make sure those fish are consistent, even if you have to trim them. That's why those big thick fish, they just don't cook up like those 10, 11-inch fish. They just don't. Right. I say that all the time. Everybody's like, "You want to keep him?" That's the best eating fish in the river, 10, 11 inches.
Absolutely.
Them 12 or 13s, yeah, they're nice, but when the fillets are that thick, it doesn't cook consistently, Those ones down there where John and them are, hey, I see Kim Hudson. Kim Randolph. She's raising her hand too. Oh man, great show, man. Gosh, so much information. Gave away a rod. James Trott, he won a rod. I guess you're gonna tell everybody where to get that hoodie you got on right there. I've seen several comments about that.
Go to fishoutlaw.com.
I would love to get a hoodie.
Thank you, guys. There's still 77 people tuned in on here. I just wanted everybody to know that. We're an hour and 5 minutes in. Hey, guys, message us questions if you got them, live scope or not. It doesn't matter. John and I try to get to you, and I promise you I'll get back to you. If I'm not driving, I promise you I will. I enjoy talking about crappie, and I appreciate y'all. Appreciate all y'all that tuned in. Again, congratulations, James. He won him a rod. I'm sure his son's going to try to steal it, but oh goodness. We'll end this show, guys, and I'm gonna have to thank my sponsors here. I'm gonna play it at the end of this show, and then we'll end it with that. And John and Jessica, y'all stay on here, but I'm gonna thank our sponsors. Y'all please stay and watch that for us, because they're the ones that make all this stuff happen. Andalusia Marine, located in Andalusia, Alabama, your express, all-weld stick steering, Polarcraft, Starcraft, veranda pontoon dealer. One call heating, air, and refrigeration, Mr. Stephen Dubb, an air conditioning guy you can trust. RMC Mechanical Contractors, located in Chelsea, Alabama. Give us a call for all your industrial contracting needs. Styler Arms, located in Bessemer, Alabama. You can also pick these rifles up at Simmons Sporting Goods. That is a Steyr Scout in that picture. I've been hunting with a pro hunter for about 30 years, guy. One of the finest rifles made. Pick one up today, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Alpha Plumbing, Mr. D. Robinson. He's been with us since day one. Call him for any of your plumbing needs, a plumbing guy you can trust. CT Ward Power Sports, Camden, Alabama on Highway 28. Your Excel center console, side console, golf your pontoon, Hustler Lawnmower, and Mercury and Yamaha service dealer. Power Brakes. If you want to get your total boat control under control, get you a set of these. Give old Chad Clifton a call. www.mypowerbrakes.com. All right, folks. Y'all 50-something people that stayed on here. There's a 14-foot outlaw behind me, a 5-foot casting rod, and an all-day guide trip with me. We're going to give away next week. I got a 200 and something people that share that video from Alpha Plumbing. I got to put them all in a hat. Somebody's going to win a trip, and it's going down here. Between now and February, I'm going to make sure that we catch a lot of fish, and it's well worth the ride down or wherever you're coming from. Somebody's going to win it. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Hey, next week, we're going to give away something else. John and Jessica, thank y'all, man. Y'all stay on here. Appreciate all y'all for staying on the show, and because I forgot to play the sponsor commercial right off the bat because I was fired up, ready to go. So,
All right.
Appreciate y'all.